Well, welcome back to One Sober to Another. I'm Wayne, and I'm an alcoholic. If you haven't gotten your morning coffee, or you're still up from last night in the United States, take a moment, energize with the right thing, and be ready to take in today's daily reflection, which is, guess what, folks? It doesn't happen overnight. January 13th, 2021. Let's get it. Good morning, folks. Check it out. If you have watched any of the videos in the past that I put on this channel, you'll see almost through every single one, nothing for me happened overnight. As a matter of fact, I'm almost 5 years living in sobriety on February 21st. Nothing is perfect. Nothing is simple. Life still goes on regardless if I'm sober or if I'm not sober. What makes it a little bit better is that I am able to think consciously about what I do, and I'm able to make decisions based off of what's best for what's going on right now versus just shooting off the hip when I was in my active alcoholism and making things a whole lot worse. So guess what? It doesn't happen overnight. It's not easy at times, and nothing is like super miraculous just because you stop drinking. There's a whole lot of work that has to go on with it. And if you're in AA, that's cool because you have a 12-step program to go by. And that's kind of your guideline. If you're not, folks, that's all right. If you have your own sobriety system and your own recovery method, you have your own steps that you are working, regardless if you think you're doing a step program or not, because there's some realizations that you have to meet anyway, regardless of what you're doing in order to keep sober. Now, if any of that resonates with you before I read the daily reflections, drop a comment below and hit that like button so this stays in circulation and goes out to somebody who needs it. Let's get it, folks. Today's daily reflection. We are not cured of alcoholism. What we really have is a daily reprieve contingent on the maintenance of our spiritual condition. Alcoholics Anonymous, page 85. The most common alcoholic fantasy seems to be, if I just don't drink, everything will be all right. Once the fog cleared for me, I saw for the first time the mess of my life had become. I had family, work, financial, legal problems. I was hung up on old religious ideas. There were sides of my character to which I was inclined to stay blind because they easily could have convinced me that I was hopeless and pushed me towards the escape again. The big book guided me in resolving all of my problems, but it didn't happen overnight, and certainly not automatically, with no effort on my part. I need always to recognize God's mercy and blessings that shine through any problem I may face. Look, man, there's a lot of things that occurred when I was drinking and a lot of problems that I caused, especially emotionally and financially and within my family. It has taken a lot of work in order to either make some amends for that and or pay off the debts as I go, tell this person that I'm sorry for what I did. The work has to be done in order for me to stay sober. Now, you may not have, sorry, I just stepped on my weights. You may not have like a religious system, and you may not have, this big grandeur idea of God and everything else. But I guarantee at some point in time, you have found something that gives you inner peace, serenity, and support from somewhere outside of yourself. It's that will give you the strength in order to get through each 24-hour period to not only stay sober and learn to live in sobriety, but to be in recovery from alcoholism or addiction or whatever your case is. Now, you are not cured of those diseases because those diseases are diseases of the mind. You can get physically well, you can get, spiritual growth and everything else, but your brain will always have that little fallback switch And I'm not a doctor, scientist, or psychologist, so I don't know. What I say really doesn't matter. It's what you think. It doesn't happen overnight, folks, just like the Daily Reflection says. There was a lot of things that I have to do, in order to get to sobriety. One, I had to, like I said in the last couple of days, admit that I was powerless over my alcohol and that, my life was unmanageable. It was a complete train wreck. Once that fog lifted, once my brain, when my mind was clear, I started getting stuff in the mail that said I owed money. I got hate mail still in my emails that said I'm a piece of doo-doo. I had people who didn't talk to me and I didn't understand why. All these small things that I had ignored through my drinking all came to light. And I either had the choice to run back to my fallback switch, which is get drunk again, or face my situations as they are. Live life on life's terms, right? I caused my life to be a complete train wreck. Now it was up to me to get it back on the rails. See what I did there? And those are the things that it means by it doesn't happen overnight. Is there's work that we have to do in order to stay sober. And each 24-hour period is your opportunity to do that. Either it's spiritual growth, addressing some of your character defects, or fixing something that you broke in the past that can be fixed, and trying to heal from the inside out. Really, that's how that works, folks. I know there's a lot of people out there right now who are stuck in situations that they think they cannot get out of. And, I can't speak for them, but I will say that educatedly, I would have gone back to the drink or drug in order to fix those, or just ignore those rather. And a lot of people out there right now are on the fence about that. And I hope that some of what I'm putting out here can dwell in your mind, and perhaps later on you'll say, you know what, that thing I saw on One Sober to Another kind of clicks in my mind, and perhaps I need to reach out, or perhaps I just need to vent. Let me hit them up at One Sober to Another on Reddit, Twitter, or Instagram. Yes, that was a shameless plug. Hey, look, I got something coming up. I'm going to be doing some. That's today's Daily Reflection, by the way. I got something coming up with Seth Perry. And Seth Perry is on YouTube, but even more importantly, he has a podcast as well. He does a lot of things as a non-religious entity and everything else. And he is a pastor, which is kind of ironic. But he does that so that we can talk to a larger audience. So I'm going to be doing something with him this next week, and I want you guys to be on the lookout for that, because that's going to be pretty cool. Also, check out Daniel from Veterans with Anxiety. He's doing good things on his channel. Let me go backwards real quick to my daily reprieve. I have to give my sobriety away in order to keep it. I have to pass it out to you guys freely and share my experience and strength and hope without expecting anything in return. And that is part of my daily reprieve. I also have to thank God. For me, it's God. I have to thank God for giving me the strength and the courage to get through another 24 hours without a drink and drive on and work my program, folks. And if that is anything for you, that's food for thought. That's today's Daily Reflection. I'm Wayne, One Sober to Another. If you haven't taken the chance to subscribe now. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the Daily Reflections or any of the live streams that are coming, as well as Journey With Me. Check them out. Check me out. Let me know if you like what I'm doing. If you want to see something different, I'm here to accommodate that, and I will do something in regards to what you want to see. Life's a garden. Dig it. Guess what, folks? I'm going to see you in the next one. You have a big, red, wonderful day. And if you know what that meant,